The manufacturers is still wide open with a dozen different makes all in the hunt. In Super Grand Sport, the Dodge Vipers lead the way with a snarling pack of Chevrolet Corvettes nipping at their heels. In the Grand Sport class, Porsche is still on top of the leaderboard with Pontiac and Ford not far behind. In Sport Touring, BMW and Acura locked in a fight for first place with Lexus in third. In the C2K class, it's a neck-and-neck battle between Honda and Hyundai, the Pocket Rockets. Today, the series enters the stretch run, and the competition promises to get even closer. From Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, it's round 6 of the Motorola Cup, presented by New Tech Group International. And it's brought to you by Motorola, web without wires. By Derringer, complete international logistics solutions. And by Hoosier, tires designed for champions. Hi, I'm Jim Martin, along with Terry Irwood, former street stock champion, chief instructor with the Skip Barber Racing School, and welcome to Road America, a track that launched sports car racing in the USA back in the 60s. Of course, back then it was Cobras and Corvettes, MGs and Austin Healys.
And today it's Viper versus Vet, not to mention Porsche, Mustang, BMW, Acura, and even Lexus and Hyundai.
And now Terry's going to take us around this Road America circuit on our Satisfied course preview.
Jim, with 4 miles in length, this is a huge horsepower racetrack. We're coming up on turn 1, end of a long uphill straightaway. It's actually a 4th gear corner, believe it or not, from 5th gear back down to 4th gear if you get it right. We have 6 long straightaways here, and we really have to brake hard. This is turn 5, the hardest braking. It's a downhill at the end of about 150 mile an hour straightaway in the Vipers and the Corvettes. Coming up under a blind bridge, left-hand turn, turn 6, back down to 2nd gear in most of the cars. Then a little short kink coming up to 7 as we begin the hurry downs. Here on the back straightaway, it's flat out, but it wanders right and left, so it's very hard to pass here, predicting where the slower cars are going to be. Now, coming under the Billy Mitchell Bridge, back toward the front straightaway, a huge run here. You can't charge this corner too hard because coming off this corner is so important. It's the longest straightaway on the track. And to make matters worse, it goes straight uphill, and you have to shift a gear on this hill.
Now let's take a look at the Speed Sick Fastest qualifiers. In Super Grand Sport, Richard Spinard and Jean-Francois Dumoulin in the 19 Porsche Turbo. Paulo Dalchin, John Heinrichs, Stu Hayner in the 37 Corvette, Devin Powell and Doug Ode in the 11 bet beside them.
In Grand Sport, on the pole, it's the Firebird of Joe Kent and Charles Esplanade. Second is Larry Rehagen and Rick Deschamps in a Mustang. And third, Pete Argetzinger, Pete Herzog, and Alfonso Diaz in a Cobra.
Sport Touring, we've got Mike Van Sicklen and Bob Endicott in their Acura. We've got Robert and Joseph Moser in the 63 Acura, as well as Howie Liebengood and Andy Lally in the 49 BMW.
And then our 4th class, C2K, Cord Cullen, Didier Schranen, and Mark Craig are on the pole in a Hyundai. Pete Halsmer, Brian Johnson, and John Smith are in a Honda Civic. Third is John Phillips, Chris Cook, and Ron Kerr in a Mazda Miata. 3 different makes in the top 3 in the C2K.
We'll be right back with a start, so stick around.
Where are you, Billy? He needs a driver.
You need a driver? 10th hole, please.
What's all the rage in Paris? The latest trend to take the fashion world by storm? New Rugrats talking watches, now $1.99 at Burger King. In 4 bold, vibrant colors, featuring the cast from Rugrats in Paris, the movie, only in theaters. Available for the ready-to-wear price of $1.99 each with any value mail.
Wow! Isn't this neat? Hurry up! I want it on the runway!
She's such a prima donna.
Welcome back. Just about set for the start of the Motorola Cup round here at Road America.
We had serious rainstorms up just a few minutes ago. The track is trying to dry now. A lot of puddles still standing.
The race facts, 2 hours in duration, 4 different classes, 1 or 2 pit stops. 60 cars head for the start. As we pause for the green flag, Richard Spinard in the Porsche. It looks like he's going to jump into the lead. He's got a bit of a head start on the Corvette beside him. We're underway.
We head down to turn 1. The cars will actually be in 4th gear by the time they get here. Notice how they start fanning out. You can't pass to the stripe, but they sure can now. On the inside, it's Peter Tonelli up in the Corvette trying to come on the inside of Nonamaker. Oh, he touches Nonamaker, gets over in the grass. Nonamaker sideways. Action in the first turn, Jim.
Oh, boy, we've got an exciting start to the contest. Paladilchin, the 37 vet, takes over second. Devin Powell runs in third, and the Vipers 4th and 5th.
Coming down to turn 3, this is a 2nd gear corner for a lot of the cars. A downhill braking zone.
And Spinard in the 19 Porsche slides it wide at the exit of the corner, but saves it.
Leading the pack. You know, he's the most nervous guy out there as it is. Let's see if we get inside the car here. He turns right into turn 3. He's in 2nd gear. He starts rolling on the throttle, but instantly at the exit, it's damp out there. He lights the rear tires. Car moves sideways, steers into it, recovers. Nice catch.
Hey, nice job, but boy, the Porsche's got lots of horsepower, and the track's a little slippery on top of that.
Now, coming down to turn 5, this is the hardest braking zone. You run over 140 miles an hour. You got to get back to 2nd gear. You almost have to park the car. Look how wet it is at the exit.
And already we've had some passing. The 11 Corvette of Devin Powell has moved into 2nd spot.
Still running 3rd, though. It's Porsche, Corvette, and then a pair of Vipers, followed by another Corvette.
The top 3 have opened up a bit of a gap over the balance of the field. Richard Spinard in the Porsche again drives a little bit to the inside of the corner. He's just making sure that he doesn't get passed right away. He realizes he's got all sorts of company. The 11 car runs in very close company in 2nd spot.
Yeah, these cars are so close together. The Porsche, however, a little bit lighter. It can outbrake the Corvette, but the Corvette has the torque, the V8 coming off the corners. Coming into turn 14, onto the longest straightaway. Very critical entry here. Watch the torque of the Corvette, that big V8 power. He stays on the inside. He stays out of the water at the exit, and he's already around the Porsche.
Kind of made it look easy. The Porsche ran through the water and obviously didn't want to put too much power down to give us away first place in doing so. But coming down this big, long straightaway, the Porsche's tucked right up in the draft to see whether or not he can seal a spot. We've got a car that's gone around.
That's Ron Johnson down in Canada Corner into the long back straightaway. The Celine Mustang gets it refired and now rejoined. Pretty easy to do. Under heavy braking, a mismatched downshift locks up the rear tires, spins it around. He gets on the brakes quickly so it doesn't go off in that pea gravel.
Boy, some great driving by the people in behind to get around without touching him, too.
We're inside John Barrasa's Audi down in turn 5, the 2nd gear left-hander. He goes a little wide. This is an all-wheel drive car, so it doesn't really concern him too much to leave the racetrack for a moment.
It's a great 4x4 car, too, from the looking at it. As he loses a spot, as a matter of fact, the 73 Acura goes by on the inside after that little miscue.
Yeah, these are Grand Sports cars, so these are same class cars. Now, coming down the back straightaway, we have the Corvette leading the Porsche, but the Porsche's still hanging on right there. Still, the top 6 cars are within closing range.
Devin Powell is our race leader. Richard Spinard's Porsche runs 2nd. The Vipers are side by side. Scott Hare and Dave Amon.
Great to see Scott Hare back in a car. He was IMSA national champion in the past. The Vipers, this should be their racetrack. Big V10, huge gobs of torque come off these corners. Look for those guys to march toward the front. Now, they weigh a little bit more, so it's taken them a while to work their way up there.
But the horsepower is really paying big dividends as far as the Viper squad's concerned. It'll be interesting to see when the track dries just how quick those cars are. And we got a car that's over in the grass. One of the Hyundais has scooted across the gravel and is now headed back toward the race circuit.
Now here's Bernard's little Porsche tucked up behind that big V8 torque. The V8 comes off the corners better, but that Corvette knocks a huge hole in the air, so the Porsche tucks up right behind him on the straightaways and can actually outbrake him at the end of these long straights. So 2 different cars on the straightaways, but it equal out in the corners.
Devin Powell's the race leader. Richard Spinard runs in second spot, just a hair's length away. We've got a tremendous battle at Road America.
Here's our second place Audi. That's John Barraza in Grand Sports chasing the NSX. John goes a little wide here in turn 5 again. He likes that rut out there, but you can't get away with that all day long. That can potentially hurt the car.
John's working real hard to hang on to the NSX just in front of him in Grand Sport today.
Now we're coming up to turn 7. It's a right-hand kink. Here comes a much faster Celine car, so John moves over, lets him in there. No point in fighting a guy for a high-speed corner.
Still the race lead, the Corvette of Devin Powell, just with a car length over the number 19 Porsche. Richard Spinard runs in second. Car off the course, the number 71 BMW stopped right beside the wall. And another car is done likewise, this time at the other side of the gravel trap, and we've got bits and pieces of race cars everywhere.
Now for the lead, we have the Corvette in front in turn 5 as we come up the hill to turn 6. The Porsche with a pretty good run here. He's going to take a peek. This is a fairly low percentage pass in turn 6. But notice how wide the Corvette gets here. He is in his rearview mirrors worried about that Porsche. Porsche takes another peek here in 7. Won't get it done here, but boy, the Corvette's nervous about it.
The Powell Corvette leads the Spinard Porsche. We'll be back with more action from Road America after this.
Kilago, alone on Kilago, how empty it seems with only my dreams.
Introducing the 3.2 CL from Acura.
Now there's a sedan that makes all other sedans feel inadequate. With an ultra-spacious cabin, sophisticated engineering, a powerful engine, and bold new European design. Introducing the all-new 2001 Elantra from Hyundai. It sets the standard for what a great-looking sedan should be. The all-new Elantra. Driving is believing.
The new Boxster S. Even heaven has its moments of hell.
Thursday nights on Speed Vision, E-Classics presents the most prestigious classic car auctions with certified Barrett-Jackson cars. Get up close before the bidding starts. Plus, discover every car collector's dream along the Hemmings Roadshow. That's E-Classics presents 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. You have entered the Racing News and Information Superhighway. Speed Vision News Race Week. An in-depth coverage by those experts who live it. Get the inside line on Speed Vision News Race Week every week. Tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern, 8:30 Pacific.
Welcome back to the Motorola Cup presented by NewTek from Elkhart Lake. Overall and Super Grand Sport leader, the Sunoco Corvette of Devin Powell. Richard Spinard's NewTek Porsche is not far behind as we're coming up on some of the slower traffic.
Sort of a cat and mouse game here. The Porsche just laying back. He knows he can make the Corvette actually use his tires up. Heavier car, has to brake harder in the corners, uses up more car. Now, you usually want to lead through traffic, however, because that way you can use the slower cars as a pick.
You can't pass somebody if you're going through another automobile. We catch up to the Grand Sport class leader, the 73 Acura, Benoit Teague, in the first race of the season for the car, just ahead of the second place Thompson Firebird.
This NSX, it's a mid-engine car. Ayrton Senna actually had a hand in developing this car. It is a beautiful, sweet car to drive if you ever get a chance.
Beautiful automobile, and it's really good to see him leading this class.
That bumper's still out there, but nobody's hit it yet. Now, the Mustang, the 47 car, this is the teammate of the 44 that we saw off in this same corner a few minutes ago.
They're going for ownership of the soundtrack from the look of things. We catch up to the race leadership one more time. Devin Powell in the Sunoco Corvette has put some of the slower cars between himself and the Porsche running in second spot now.
We talked about that. You need to lead in traffic. You can get some slow cars between you and get some breathing room. Get that Porsche out of his rear view mirrors.
We catch up in pit lane. The 43 Corvette is stopped with a problem, and the teams go to work.
Yeah, this could be a result of that starting incident down in turn 1. You know, he had to come in together with Peter Tonelli.
We catch up to our sport touring leader, the 64 Acura of Mike Van Sicklen.
And Bob Endicott, these guys are tough, and both in Hondas, Acuras, whatever they drive, they're going to beat up there in a front drive car.
They know how it's done, that's for sure, and it's proving to be a good deal today. Now in C2K, the class leader is the 00 Honda.
Yeah, Lou Galati, John Schmidt, and Brian Johnson. This is actually a Honda of America car. These guys all out of Ohio, out of the Honda plant. You know, they work hard. The whole crew is. They've done a super job. They have 2 cars out here, by the way, with Pete Halsmer and Brian Johnson in the other car.
Class leading in C2K. And we've got the pole sitter in Grand Sport. The 97 Firebird is stopped out in the circuit.
That's Joe Kent and Charles Esplanade. The car's in a pretty bad place. That's driver's left coming up to Canada corner. Hard braking zone here. Let's see if we can't figure out what happened. We're inside John Barrasa's Audi coming down to turn 5 about 2 miles prior to that corner. Now, hard braking zone here. It's tough on the cars. This Firebird is going way too hot to make this corner. Yes, he goes straight. He goes straight off. John does too. Now, that's his natural line. So John's out here in the dirt. He's got all-wheel drive. He's trying to get back up to the pavement.
He gets back on the road, stays hard to the right side because the Firebird actually comes back and passes him again. Now, in that off-roading situation, he might have done some damage to the car, or maybe has a braking problem. We're not sure. Could be the cause of his stopping.
Another car that's been off the track. He's coming into pits. This is premature.
John Kohler in the 47 Celine Mustang comes to a stop in long pit lane. The crew goes to work as we catch up to our race leaders again. Devin Powell, and he's got the Porsche all over the back bumper of that Sunoco Corvette.
Now, this is where the Corvette took over last time. We saw the Corvette with that big torque coming up the hill. Porsche with what we call a clean run. In other words, he didn't scrub off any speed. He's in the draft of that big Corvette. Long straightaway. They're up to 4th gear at the stripe. They're up to 5th gear. And as they approach the braking zone for turn 1, the Porsche pops out. He has the inside line.
And he's going to make the pass stick. We have a new race leader, Richard Spenard, the number 19 Porsche.
So now it's going to be the Corvette doing the chasing. At least he doesn't have to worry about his rearview mirrors for a while. But the Porsche is going to lead through traffic. Well, I'd rather be there.
And there's a bunch of traffic in front of them, too. It's going to be an interesting contest. As Richard Spenard drives to the right side and gets around one of the Mustangs in Grand Sport, the Corvette follows him through.
Again, this is that high-speed area, actually the fastest straightaway on the racetrack. It goes downhill all the way to turn 5. That Porsche can brake so deep. But notice it's still damp over there. Got to be very careful where we brake. The Corvette even gets back over in the dry so he can brake. But he gets stuck behind a Porsche doing that. Oh, a little car-to-car contact. The Corvette has to do a lane toss to miss these guys.
The cars involved are the Grand Sport Porsche of Al Wartzman, as well as the Mustang of David Brown getting together there.
But that's why you want to lead through traffic.
Exactly, and the traffic's having a race unto themselves from the look of things. Yeah, John Barrasa gets passed by the race leader now, and here comes the Corvette, and we've got a car backwards off the racetrack and into the gravel trap.
He may not get out of there. He's in just deep enough. Let's see what happened. In hard braking, turn 8. He doesn't realize that Corvette's slowing down as well as it does. The Firebird does not stop like the Corvette. Jams on the brakes, locks up the rear tires, and he's barely in the pea gravel.
Let's check out our Derringer leaderboard. Lap number 12 in Super Grand Sport overall. Spenard and Dumoulin, the 19 Porsche. They're followed by the 11 Corvette of Powell and Godin, their teammates in the 30 car, Tonelli and Conway in 3rd.
In Grand Sport, in their first race, the NSX leads this with Teague and Tremblay. Second, Thompson Defani's Firebird, and the father-son Firebird of Shanneman and Shanneman.
Sport Touring, Van Sicklen, Endicott's Acura, Bonneau and Patch in their BMW Z3, and Moser and Moser in another Acura 3rd.
That's also a father-son team, by the way. The Galati, Schmidt, Johnson Honda lead C2K. Halsmer, Johnson, Schmidt, they're second in the Honda. It's the Hyundai in 3rd with Hebert, Craig, and Schranen.
Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Motorola Cup action in a second.
There are deals on internet service. There are deals on long distance. But there's only one way to get a great deal on both. Call 1-800-PIN-DROP and sign up for Sprint 1000 nights with unlimited Earthlink internet access. For just $30 a month, you get 1,000 minutes of state-to-state long distance to use every night of the week. Plus, you'll also get unlimited internet access. Surf the web, check email, shop online, anytime you want. It's all in one simple plan with one simple bill for one great price. Just $30 a month gives you unlimited internet access plus 1,000 minutes of nighttime state-to-state long distance. Sign up now for Sprint 1,000 nights with unlimited Earthlink internet access. One service, one bill, one low price. Because some things were just meant to be together. Hook up with Sprint and Earthlink at 1-800-PIN-DROP or visit sprint.com.
Give me my phone. I want to check my email.
No.
Give it to me.
No.
Give me my phone.
No. No.
Sunday morning, chop through the sea with the Viking 65. Then test the limits of the Cigarette 38 Top Gun. Plus, learn how to set up a ski tow on ShipShape TV. That's Powerboat Show at 10 Eastern, Maximum Marine at 10:30, and ShipShape TV at 11.
Welcome back to the Motorola Cup presented by NewTek Group International from Road America. Richard Spinard's NewTek Porsche leads. Devin Powell's Corvette is right behind him on his back bumper. They've had a great battle from the word go, from the green flag.
Of course, you always wonder how hard they're having to run these cars to stay out front like this. There's a huge battle developing back here in third place as our two Vipers are chasing the other Sunoco Corvette of Tonelli for third. Now, the Vipers with their extra torque, they should be able to pull this Corvette at some point. Plus, they've got a secret weapon waiting back in the pits called Little Joe Vardy. I've never seen him not get in a car and take it toward the front.
Tonelli in the 30 Corvette, and he's got Scott Hare behind him. Scott's doing a great job in between one of the Grand Sport Mustangs and the 30 Corvette and a bid for third place.
Look inside the Corvette. He's already pointing the Viper by. He knows when he's been had, so he's going to try to let the one car by and get back in line. Doesn't want to lose two spots, and he doesn't.
Tonelli in the 30 car ducks into fourth spot behind that number 53 Viper, the highest the Vipers have been all day long.
Yeah, and they'll slowly work toward the front. We got Vardy coming up also, but once again, big, heavy cars, you know, and they're hard to haul down. The Porsche, however, as he works traffic like ringing a bell. Coming down that long hill, still damp on the left as we brake real hard for turn 5. Back to second gear. The Corvette's in the middle of the track, so he has to over-slow for the corner.
Maybe the drive of the day in Grand Sport, the number 73 NSX is our class leader. Ben Watteet started that car 16th in the Grand Sport class and is now all by himself out front. The 00 Honda, though, Mike Galati leads the C2K class in that car. He and his teammates Brian Johnson and John Schmidt have really taken to heart this racetrack, and they've done a pretty fair job out in front of the Hyundais, too.
As John Kohler's Celine Mustang, he's stuck, I think, this time in a gravel trap. This could bring out a full course caution.
As he puts up both hands as if to say, hey, come out here and give me a hand. Somebody else that needs a hand is in pit lane.
Oh, man, that's our sport touring leader, Van Sicklin, in his Acura. He's in the pits under green. There must be a problem here.
Well, there's got to be, as we've got another car off the racetrack, the 16 Porsche in Grand Sport. That's the Wurtzman, McKelman, and Law, 911, and he's in the gravel trap for good, too.
Yeah, that car's down on the motor. It's not going anywhere. Now, we have a new leader in sport touring. Our Acura's in the pits. Our two Z3 Coupes are 1 and 2. Number 70, Bonneau Patch, and number 72, Schaefer and Trask.
Well, it seems that there is safety in numbers, and it's turned out for the Z3 guys today.
Yeah, these are what they call crusher cars. These cars are actually experimental cars, you know, that maybe they're paint cars or they're test cars for BMW, and they cut them up and throw them away. Well, Trask got hold of these cars, so you don't throw them away.
We've got another car in the gravel trap now. The gravel traps are sucking up a whole bunch of our race cars, and it looks like there's a wheel falling off the 27 Honda.
Yeah, and this is outside the carousel, so they're going to have to put the safety car out. The crew's waiting for the pits to open, and when they do, they'll fill the cars with that Sunoco ethanol-enhanced Ultra 94, the official fuel of the Motorola Cup. And one of the neat parts of this series is that all the cars racing here are actually street legal. Consequently, so is the fuel that they're required to race on.
Paul Rossi is the technical director of this series, wants equality. And one of the real easy ways not to have an equal series is if you can be a chemist with fuel. There are all sorts of additives you can put in gasoline that are known carcinogens. They're very bad for you, but boy, you get extra horsepower out of your motor. So by having a fuel supplier like Sunoco supply the fuel for all the cars, not just us, means everybody's got the same fuel. Helps Paul Rossi have a more equal playing field for his race cars.
So as the field goes for a tour here at Road America behind the safety car, Terry, why don't the pits open right away when we've got a full course yellow like that?
It's actually for safety reasons, to stack the field up behind the safety car so they can track the cars better, hopefully come in at one time and all get out at one time.
So it looks as though everybody's pretty much gathered up, and momentarily the pits will open and the crews will go to work over there. While they take a quick break and clean up the cars out on the race circuit, we'll take one as well and be back with more action from the Motorola Cup round at Road America.
Dad, I gotta make a pit stop fast.
Looks like the Cooks are headed to the pits. But don't worry, they're an experienced team, and their Hoosier Performance tires put them ahead of schedule. Look at them go! The Cook family trusts Hoosier Performance tires, safety, performance, and reliability. They've done it again! Winning families ride on Hoosier Performance tires. Tires designed for champions.
Never once did your car ask you for jewelry or flowers. Never once did it ask you if it looked fat, or did it get mad at you for leaving the seat up. Your car always gives you exactly what you want. Doesn't it deserve something special in return?
At the Lost Drive-In, from acclaimed director John Frankenheimer, 4 men, 1 battle.
There is only winning.
Winner of 3 Academy Awards, James Garner stars in Grand Prix. Tonight, 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific.
Welcome back to the Motorola Cup presented by New Tech Group International. All of the leaders heading for the pits under our full course caution. Spenard's Porsche comes in, Powell's Corvette follows him.
Yeah, the pit stops are the key here. We've got to get in and out. We've got a driver change coming on. Most of the guys are going to change tires. I see the Porsche's not changing tires. He's going to opt for position. In other words, he's going to get out first because he doesn't take time to change the tires. At a street circuit, that is extremely critical. You need to be out front. However, here at Road America, you can pass dozens of times a lap. I would much rather have fresher tires than this road position here at Road America.
So the 19 Porsche gets out first. However, the trade-off to be made here, the Corvette team's changing tires. They're going to get out second, but maybe have a little more car underneath them for the balance of the race. The action continues along pit lane. We catch up to the number 53 Viper. Now, David Amick is going to get out of the 50 car and get into 53. Actually does double duty today.
This Viper is normally driven by his brother Lyndon and Hank Parker Jr., but they're off at a Busch race this weekend, so Scott Hare gets the call. And David gets to drive twice.
It looks like the safety crew is doing double duty as well, taking care of the half dozen cars here at the Motorola Cup.
Fans, we've got a ton of action today. Lots of Motorola Cup races, tons of different cars, and a big pile of money for the winners. Still, there's a couple of things you should keep in mind. First, make sure whoever's grilling up your food doesn't burn your feast. Just type them a reminder without saying a word on Motorola's Talk About T900 two-way with texting. Tell them you'd like yours medium rare. Next, if the car you're rooting for gets knocked out, you can always change your colors and tell everyone about it with Motorola's new V-Series phone with 16 different peel-off covers. Finally, if you're in the back row and your buddies are up front, keep up to speed on the race with a pair of Motorola Talk About two-way radios. The new model even has an altimeter, so you can find out just how high those nosebleed seats really are. Now, back to the race. The Motorola Cup North American Street Stock Championship. Talk without talking. See it all at Motorola.com.
The safety car pulls off, and we head for a restart down the front straightaway. Jean-Francois Dumoulin takes the lead in the number 19 Porsche right behind the 11 Corvette. Doug Goad runs in second spot.
Now, the Porsche used the more experienced driver, Richard Spenard, first, not by choice. He had a commitment as a coach to the players' IndyCar team. Not the ideal strategy. it's usually best to put your most experienced guy in second.
That's exactly what the Powell Corvette team has done, with Doug Goad now behind the wheel of the 11 car as he's gradually, slowly but surely sneaking up on that 19 Porsche in front of him.
He's going to try to run him down. Again, we're coming down this long straightaway, the fastest part of the racetrack, coming down to turn 5. The Porsche drafts fairly well. Corvette's really closing in on the braking. But boy, if he does that lap after lap, he's going to use that vet up.
Maybe the fresh tires are exactly what he needed as he drives to the inside and puts the Porsche out on the outside in this corner.
And that's what fresh tires will do. This is one place you would never pass. But the fresh tires let him get away with it. We're now on this long back straightaway. Dumoulin is trying to get his breath back here as he actually falls behind something.
On board now, the Audi S4. Lance Stewart's behind the wheel. John Barras on this corner earlier fell off, and it looks like Lance is doing likewise.
He's headed off in the same pea gravel trap. I don't know if it's an all-wheel drive car. Maybe he's testing a new Hoosier mud and snow tires.
Back out on the racetrack, and nobody's collected him. Catching up, and now we got a battle for second place. Jean-François Dumoulin, the Porsche, without the fresh tires. It looks like he's got a big Viper in his rearview mirror.
Yeah, the Porsche braked late for that corner, so he had to actually overslow. Joe gets a better run, especially with that V10 horsepower. This is that long straightaway going down to turn 5. These cars actually reach over 150, 155 miles an hour. Now, Joe will tuck back in because he knows the Viper has not quite the brakes the Porsche does.
So he might get up beside him, but he's going to lose the spot coming into the corner. The exit could be a different story as both of them chase the number 11 Corvette.
Yeah, Little Joe's got his number. He's filling those mirrors up now. He's going to take a peek here. Usually you don't pass in turn 7. Just made a liar out of me. I've never seen that work well. This is the high-speed kink, the exit of what we call the flat-out kink.
And Dave Amick, the 53 Viper's gone around, and he's trying to turn it around here and slides through the grass.
Gets off of the grass and taps the wall. It's a $7,000 nose, but it's not a big hit. But he's about to get stuck.
Oh, things are real slippery thanks to the rain earlier, and the Viper's going to be trapped there for a little while as we catch up to the race leadership. And all of a sudden, his teammate, the number 50 Viper, is knocking on the back bumpers of the Chevy Corvette in a battle for first now.
Yeah, Joe can sniff out that first-place run. He's down in Canada Corner going up to Billy Mitchell Bridge.
As we've got a full course yellow, thanks to some cars off the track, and one's on its roof, the 05 Porsche.
It's one thing about a gravel trap. They can trip a car and turn it over, but it usually doesn't hurt the car.
Zach Zarkadoulis is being walked over to the safety vehicle. He looks to be all right, but the crew's going to have their work cut out for him.
David Amick gets a little help from the corner workers to get pushed back up toward the track. He's lost some valuable time in the mud.
A lot of the other crews going to work taking care of some of the cars that have fallen by the wayside.
Yeah, that's a 91 car down here in turn 5 being towed in. That's one of the top runners in the C2K class.
So slowly but surely they try to right the Porsche that's fallen over, doing a great job. That's what the pea gravel is for, I guess. Makes it a nice soft cushion. So while they get all the toys out of the sandbox, we'll be back with more action from Road America. The Motorola Cup presented by New Tech Group International.
Here's another breakthrough from Craftsman. It's the Clench Wrench, available only from Sears. All jobs become easier when you have the right tool. With the Craftsman Clench Wrench, the harder you pull, the tighter it grips. As you apply more pressure to the handle, the pivoting jaw holds the bolt tighter and tighter. The Clench Wrench automatically self-adjusts to 15 popular standard and metric size nuts and bolts, so there's no guesswork. At $19.99, the Craftsman Clench Wrench is a real value. With its spring-loaded jaw and easy-open thumb lever, the Clench Wrench is a snap to use. Once in place, it's self-ratcheting. Just swing the handle back and it automatically resets. You don't have to remove and reposition it after each turn. You only need one tool for dozens of household and automotive projects.
Sears, the good life at a great price. Guaranteed.
Have your Sears or other credit card ready and call 1-800-661-5225 to order your Craftsman Clench Wrench for only $19.99 plus shipping and handling. Call now.
Kansas Dobie Gillis fish tank. The party's changed to 7?
Imagine removing the worst scratches from your finest furniture in just a matter of seconds. Imagine instantly erasing chips, nicks, and more from antiques, trim, and even hardwood floors. Introducing Simonize, the first ever craftsman quality wood treatment guaranteed to instantly restore all woods of any color to their true natural beauty. Scratches this severe could cost you hundreds or thousands of dollars to repair or replace and take weeks to refinish or restore. But now in this TV-only offer, you can get instant acting Simonize for the incredibly low introductory price of just $14.95. And that's not all. Call now and we'll also include as an early bird bonus a second bottle of secret formula Simonize for just $5. That's right, an incredible $30 value, yours now for just $19.95. Don't agonize, use Simonize. The instant match for any scratch. Order your 2-bottle full-year supply of instant acting Simonize for just $19.95 plus $5.95 shipping and handling. Call the toll-free number on your screen now or write to the address below. Simonize is guaranteed to restore every wood of any color or return it within 30 days for a full refund of the purchase price. This is a limited-time TV-only offer, so call now.
The green flag is out, and we're back racing here at Road America. About 16 laps remain. Doug Goad's Chevy Corvette leads the Viper of Joe Vardy. And right behind them, we've got Jean-Francois Dumoulin's Porsche, the 19 car, in third.
Number 44 Mustang challenges. He takes a peek, but he's a lap down, so it really doesn't count.
Boy, we've got a great battle up front. Doug Goad in the Chevy Corvette with a white Viper right hot on his heels at the exit of the corner.
Yeah, Goad and Vardy, they've raced each other for many, many years in a lot of different classes. They both know how the other guy drives. They're very clean drivers. The little puff you saw out of the Viper right there, that's an upshift. It's side exhaust.
The Viper looks at the inside, coming into a corner, and just makes it look easy. Flashes by the Chevy Corvette, now hard on the brakes. The Corvette with the advantage here.
Hops right back inside. This is turn 5, a hard braking zone. Vardy has to overslow to make the turn, and the Corvette right back inside. These guys love it. The fans love it. The Porsche loves it more because he keeps up.
The Porsche's loving it because everybody's scrubbing off some speed, trying to pass the people in front of them. And we've got a 3-car battle with a Chevy Corvette, a Viper, and a Porsche 911 Turbo.
You actually see brake lights there in turn 7. Pretty rare. Now, Vardy back on the inside coming down to turn 8. Now, watch the car get sideways. That's with a downshift. A little bit of rear brake bias when you downshift these cars. And Vardy, the master of car control, takes care to go down to the carousel.
Makes the pass stick. The 50 Viper's the race leader. The 11 Corvette drops to second place. And boy, the Corvette is hard-pressed to keep up with a Viper in a straight line.
You saw Vardy drop the left rear off at the kink. That's a 140-mile-an-hour drop. Son, your throat. Can't breathe.
Boy, the Corvette is pretty good under braking, though, and it eats up most of the difference between the two. A car length separates first and second.
Vardy's got that V10 torque coming up the hill, but the Corvette is going to be right there with him. It also has traction control, so it doesn't spin the tires like the Viper does coming off the corner.
Could it be that Doug Goad has used up the tires on that Chevy Corvette, taking over first place earlier on?
Well, both cars work real hard down in turn 5, down in turn 8, so the Porsche, actually, he's the one right now that has the cooler car.
He's got a great place to witness this battle for first in front of him. The Viper leads, though, crossing the start-finish line.
You see the Corvette coming right back, though. Once we get in the draft, once those cars get above about 70 or 80 miles an hour, the second car actually goes faster. Goad may take a look here in turn 1. Decides to stay behind, but he's filling the mirrors up with Vardy.
Just for a change, it looks as though Doug Goad is maybe being a little tentative about trying to pass for the lead one more time.
Well, he's going to lay back there for a minute so the guys don't use their cars up. Vardy sideways again, using some of that V10 power to light up the Hoosiers. Now, he can overheat those tires, though. He's got to be a little careful with his exit speed. This big long run, Jim, is over 150 miles an hour here. 5 cars at over 150. You got to haul the cars down to 42 miles an hour. Watch this. Watch this Corvette under hard braking. They're down to second gear, almost have to park the cars. Vardy's going to take a run back. He had a bigger radius. He got the throttle sooner. He's going to drag race him to the top of the hill in turn 6. He's on the inside. He takes the point.
The Viper wins the drag race, but only just barely, as those two cars are separated by less than a car length. One more time, the Viper in front, the Corvette second, Porsche and another Corvette third and fourth.
Yeah, the Porsche's about to lose third place as we see the Heinrici Corvette coming up.
Again, the same kind of battle that we saw earlier on with Doug Goad. This time it's the 37 Chevy Corvette right on the back bumper of the 19 Newtech Porsche.
Yeah, the Celine Mustang now, remember he's a lap down. That car's in 5th right now on the track, but he's a lap down.
A lot of similarities to what we saw earlier with Doug Goad and his Chevy Corvette. We've got John Heinrici, a veteran, with fresh tires on the number 37 car. The youngster, Jean-Francois Dumoulin, the number 19 Porsche with the used set of Hoosiers on.
Yeah, I think it's going to show up, too. John's right there. John knows he has the torque of that Corvette. He's going to try to tuck in behind the Porsche. Oh, we have a car off.
The number 12, that's the Potter and Linder Acura, which has stopped out on the racetrack, and he's had some contact from the look of things.
Yeah, he's tapped something. The Mustang inside of Heinrich. See, now, I can't believe he's sort of upset in this battle. Did John miss a gear on that straightaway?
Here's the Sport Touring leader, Andy Lally BMW 328, and right behind him, the Lexus of Chuck Goldsboro.
Howie Liebengood started the BMW, German car. Andy Lally, who primarily drives open-wheel cars, doing a superb job here. Now, Chuck Goldsboro back in the white Lexus. This is a Japanese car, a family sedan, automatic transmission V8. But they've had a year under their belt now, and they're doing a super job with this car. You see him coming into view on the right as they're trying to get around the Acura. I love traffic.
It sure makes it an interesting sight as we watch everybody working their way into the corner. Now we catch up with the overall leading Viper, and you notice when it goes by, the handprints on the side of this race car.
They call it hands-on racing, a program Team Amick has started with the Grant-A-Wish Foundation, where children with life-threatening illnesses become members of the team and actually put their handprints on the car.
Hands-on racing is something that Grant-A-Wish has just really embraced, and we've together we've come up with something that I think is really going to carry on through this year and whatever kind of racing that we do in the future. They're a great group of people. They have the kids' true interests at heart, and the amount of response from the kid is directly proportional to their interest for the kids, I think, and we're able to get, we've had 6 or 7, I think was our max at a racetrack, and with 10 races, you know, if you multiply that out, that's 60, 70 kids that we've been able to influence and hopefully make an impact on their lives and make the day that they spend with us that much more special.
To learn how you can participate, call 1-800-933-5470 or check out grantawish.org on the World Wide Web.
Corvette is a Z06. In street version, it's 385 horsepower, 10.5 to 1 compression ratio. On the street, it's important to use high-test gas for the engines that want it because of detonation. Our only protection, Ultra 94.
I need the consistency of a high-performance gasoline, so I choose only Sunoco Ultra 94.
Sunoco Ultra 94. Race tested, race proven.
The Maglite flashlight, American-made, to be brighter, tougher, more dependable. The Maglite is a work of art that works. A Maglite flashlight is the brilliant gift idea for any occasion.
Wednesdays are wild on OLN.
Yeah, baby.
On the slopes, Peekaboo Street is fearless. Now watch her take off her skis and take on brave new worlds in the danger zone with Peekaboo Street. Wild Wednesdays, 10:30 p.m. only on OLN.
Back at Road America for the Motorola Cup, our race leader, Joe Vardy, that number 50 Viper. Not far behind him, the yellow Corvette of Doug Goad.
Yeah, little Joe Vardy took the lead at the halfway point. He's looking mighty strong. This is where he likes to be, and he's used to it.
The Grand Sport leading number 73 NSX with Motorola Cup veteran Benoit Tiege and Sylvain Tremblay getting by the number 43 Corvette, actually one of the Super Grand Sport cars. Second place is the 78, which is the Defantes, Chris and Jerry Thompson Firebird. Real good run today, the first outing for the NSX of the season, and it looks as though it's going to pay off.
And of course, Tiege and Tremblay are seasoned veterans. They ran a RX-7 turbocharged car last year. Looks like this NSX is going to be a home run for them this year.
Got a real fight in C2K today between the number 69 Honda, Brian Johnson, and the number 6 Hyundai Tiburon. Mark Craig is behind the wheel there. Craig's Hyundai just getting by Johnson's Honda, but it doesn't look as though Brian Johnson's happy with that one at all. It tries to fight back a touch.
Yeah, coming in turn one. Again, this is a fourth gear corner All the Honda has to do is lay back a little bit on the throttle. Now he can run full throttle down to turn 3. However, pretty hard pace to pass in 3.
Johnson looks to the inside of Mark Craig and the Tiburon. Both of them hard on the brakes. Decides better of it this time anyway.
Yeah, you have to tuck back in line there. You don't have that long of a run to really get up side by side the guy and sort of stuff him in there. Now, turn 5, the end of this straightaway, you got a long draft, you got a long run. Watch the Honda popping out here. He gets side by side. The draft has enabled him to do that. Once we get in the braking zone, let's see if he can outbrake the Hyundai and take the point. There's a kink right here in the braking zone. It's actually hard to brake here. Now, the Honda's on the inside. He's down to 3rd gear, down to 2nd gear. He takes the point. Hyundai is going to try to look back. They'll run. It's a pretty hard hill they're running up. It's a blind corner, turn 6. Hyundai looks out. No, gets right back in line. Not quite the power of the V8 or V10 cars to actually make that pop. But look how incredibly equal these cars are.
We had a real close battle up front, but it looks as though to be maybe spreading just a touch. The number 50 Dodge Viper's out front. Joe Vardy with the lead opens up a bit of a gap over Doug Goad's number 11 Chevy Corvette. Maybe Doug Goad used up that car in the battle with the Porsche and then the Viper later on.
I love to watch Joe Vardy work traffic, not when he was racing me, but this guy he is the master of working around slower cars.
He makes it look so simple, and boy, I would imagine there's about 45 other people out there that wishes their day was just as easy.
Here's our great battle in sport touring with Andy Lawley leading the Chuck Bobby Goldsboro Lexus. This fight isn't over. Got the V8 in the Lexus, got the 6-cylinder BMW. It's a stick-shift BMW, an automatic Lexus. But the big V8, remember these long straightaways, he's going to take a look in 7. You can't pass a car here. He stuffs it in there and stands on the brakes, and now Goldsboro takes over the lead. What a move.
Fortunately, nobody told Chuck Goldsboro you couldn't pass there. Goldsboro using the Lexus V8 power to open things up just a little bit. We catch up with a Viper and a Hyundai racing side by side only in the Motorola Cup. Let's take a look at our Daringer leaderboard on lap number 36. In Super Grand Sport, of course, we got the 50 Viper of Amick and Vardy. The Powell and Goat 11 Corvette runs 2nd. Spinard and Dumoulin, the 19 Porsche, in 3rd. A real close race. Each one of these cars has led at least a portion.
And in Grand Sports, 3 different makes here. The NSX still on the point of Tees and Tremblay. Thompson drives a Firebird with DeFontes for 2nd, and the Rehagen Deshaw Mustang is in 3rd.
In sport touring, we've got the Fairbanks Goldsboro Bunting Lexus, Liebengood and Lawley and their BMW, and the Schaefer and Trask Z3 in 3rd.
And in the C2K class, it's Pete Halsmer, Brian Johnson, John Schmidt leading in the Honda over Hebert, Craig, and Schranen in the Hyundai, followed by Galati, Schmidt, Johnson in the 00 Honda.
We'll be back with the exciting finish. Don't go away.
There are deals on internet service. There are deals on long distance. But there's only one way to get a great deal on both. Call 1-800-PIN-DROP and sign up for Sprint 1000 nights with unlimited Earthlink internet access. For just $30 a month, you get 1,000 minutes of state-to-state long distance to use every night of the week. Plus, you'll also get unlimited internet access. Surf the web, check email, shop online, anytime you want. It's all in one simple plan with one simple bill for one great price. Just $30 a month gives you unlimited internet access, plus 1,000 minutes of nighttime state-to-state long distance. Sign up now for Sprint 1000 nights with unlimited Earthlink internet access. One service, one bill, one low price. Because some things were just meant to be together. Hook up with Sprint and Earthlink at 1-800-PIN-DROP or visit sprint.com.
Thursday nights on Speed Vision, E-Classics presents the most prestigious classic car auctions with certified Barrett-Jackson cars. Get up close before the bidding starts. Plus, discover every car collector's dream along the Hemmings Roadshow. That's E-Classics presents 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific.
Ah, the usual, gentlemen?
Well, perhaps for Emmett, but I'll be having tea. Well, I'm the designated driver.
Not so quick, friend. I'll be having the tea, as I'm to be the driver.
Deny yourself if you like, but I'll be a driving.
Boxster. What only a Porsche brings to driving.
Just a few laps to go. The overall leader, the Viper number 50, Joe Vardy. Doug Goad's Chevy Corvette right behind him. 3rd place, the New Tech Porsche. has dropped off the pace just a little bit.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to regret not changing those tires. The car's falling further and further back. Plus, toward the end of the race, all the tires are being used up. All the brakes are being used up. A lot of traffic because there are so many cars racing for so many different positions in 4 different classes. Matter of fact, here's 6th place right now. A good run by the 45 Firebird, driven by Mike Bowman and Rob Hines. They're currently 6th, like I said. Matter of fact, Hines is a reigning SCCA Touring 2 national champion, making his professional debut here in the Motorola Cup.
And it appears as though the racing is even more intense back here in 6th spot as it is up front. The C2K leading Hyundai. Mark Craig slows. There's some damage to that car. It looks as though there's something wrong with the rear.
Yeah, he's come in contact with something on the left rear there. He's going slower. Now, the car doesn't look hurt. Well, it's a little toe out, perhaps, which makes it steer funny as you turn the car in, but he's definitely slower right here.
Well, that's going to put the Halsmer Johnson Honda into the lead in C2K, and there's nobody around him to give him a hard time between now and the end.
No, he has something dragging up front, actually, up under the left front. NSX, that's our leader in Grand Sports in their debut.
Sylvain Tremblay and the NSX being chased toward the checkered flag by the Thompson DeFates Firebird, and right behind them, the Rehagen and Dishaw Cobra, the number 52 car. And in sport touring, it's Chuck Goldsboro and his Lexus leading the BMW of Andy Lully. It's Schaefer and Trask in the BMW Z3 in 3rd spot.
And this late in the race, here are top 3 guys. You can throw a cold, wet blanket, probably should, over all these cars.
And the 22 Chevy Corvette, the first equity Corvette of Mike Fitzgerald, slides off the race course, and the track is still wet on the verges, and it looks as though he could be stuck.
Yeah, these cars do a wonderful job out in the dry. Another car's turned around here. That's 96 Firebird. He gets restarted. Fitzgerald's car. Notice the fire in the front tires. The front brakes are literally on fire in this car. We talked about this being the hardest track in the country on brakes, and this car is on fire on the side of the racetrack.
The front brakes have picked up some grass, and it may be damp, but it doesn't prevent it from burning from the look of things. If the brakes are hot enough, we catch up to the race leader again. The number 50 Viper. Joe Vardy cruising his way toward the checkered flag, and there's nobody around to give him a hard time about it. Joe Vardy in the 50 Viper, as we look back, and we'll now see the gap between himself and the 2nd place number 11 Corvette.
Yeah, the Corvette's having to work traffic. Here comes the Porsche, our 3rd place car. He's falling a little further back still.
Francois Dubelin, the New Tech Porsche, runs in 3rd position. The car looked real strong right off the top. Horsepower, torque, maybe saving the car is what it's all about, Terry.
Yeah, Vardy knows how to get out in front and then get a cushion. The rest of these guys are trying to run their cars harder. Now, here comes Vardy with his teammate. He's coming up behind the 53 car. 53 car is a lap down. That's David Amick driving 53. David started Vardy's car. David's points are back there behind him, so he doesn't care if he gets past.
So we'll watch him come through the corner, and just how easily the 50 car drives to the inside and says, thanks a lot, buddy. We'll see you at the end.
They may be setting up a photo op here to get 2 Vipers here at the finish line. That could be. This is turn 6 coming up to turn 7. David's just going to tuck in behind him. And this is how David learns a racetrack, believe it or not. Joe goes out with a radio. As we see the last lap being flashed, Joe leads David around a racetrack and tells him what gear to be in as they drive around. This is David's first year ever in a road race car. So he's never seen any of these tracks. He gets out, that's one reason they run 2 cars. Joe takes off, tells him what gear to be in, where to shift, where to brake, where to be, the line, the proper apex and everything. What a great learning curve, no pun intended, to have Joe Vardy as your lead driver and your coach.
So it's a learning experience not only for the Grand Wish kids, but also the drivers and the team, too.
We're coming up the hill for the last time toward the Billy Mitchell Bridge. A lot of traffic, but they know that the leaders are coming.
And actually, Mark Craig in the Hyundai Tiburon, it's stricken, but it's trying to finish, turns on a signal lamp to make sure everybody gets around safe.
So Vardy will lead out of the last corner with David Amick, who started this car, right behind him in the Team Viper. This is going to be a beautiful photo op.
Coming up to take the checkered flag, Joe Vardy is going to be the race winner. Dodge is going to reinforce its standings as far as leading the manufacturers at the end of the day today, and Joe Vardy moves into the lead with the driver's points, too.
A great day for the Vipers. You know, on paper, the V10, the torque, the horsepower, those cars actually should have been on the front row, I think, starting. They didn't qualify there, but Joe knew how to run this race. He knew how to have car left over. This is a racetrack suited for the Vipers. 3 other classes to go yet. The checker flag still weighs on 60 cars as Andy Lolly comes up into trying to get around. That's our leader right there, Chuck Goldsboro in the V8 Lexus. This is Canada Corner coming up the hill. There's Lolly. There's Trask. This is 1, 2, 3 in sport touring.
Oh, a tremendously close battle. These cars after
side by side, Jim, as they come under the Motorola bridge right there. Trask is going to be on the inside. It's a right-hand turn. He should take the point for second place. There goes the Lexus. That's all Chuck needed. He has a little breathing room as Andy slots back into third.
Andy Lully got tied up trying to find the first place, and it looks as though he's going to settle for third as they come up and take the checkered flag.
You've got to gamble. It's just the way it is in racing, especially at the last lap. Goldsboro flashing the victory headlights. He's a happy camper. These guys have worked real hard to put this Lexus on the podium.
Two other class leaders headed for the checkered flag at Road America. First off, it's Brian Johnson in C2K class winning Honda.
Looking for Grand Sports, that NSX, first time out. Here he comes, the Tijan Tremblay car. Congratulations.
Sylvain Tremblay with one hand up, saying, hey, this one tastes real good. We'll be back in just a moment as we'll meet our Motorola StarTac stars of the race.
Catch you this time. 2 out of 3. Okay, you ready? Sure. Okay. 1, 2, 3, send. Oh. Rock beat scissors. Back seat. Watch your head.
Ah, funny. Ow. Come on, move over.
It's time I traveled lighter and threw away my maps and made up for the seriousness of my youth with a little madness.
Now hear this. Need to know what to watch on SpeedVision? Log on to speedvision.com. Find the latest daily, weekly, and monthly program schedules from the world of speed. Get the inside line anytime. Log on to speedvision.com.
Welcome back to Road America. Our Motorola StarTac stars of the race, Joe Vardy and David Amick, who brought home the Viper in first place.
This was the track for the Viper. Everybody has to admit the long straightaways up the hill, the 10-cylinder has an advantage. But the rest of the year, you know, hopefully if we can just get on the podium, we'll be happy.
That's right. I mean, we're in for the big picture now. We want the championship, and we want the championship for Grant-A-Wish and for our team. And you know, Joe just says, you know, bring it back in all one piece and give me something I can race, and that's what we want to do.
Now let's check out our new tech final results in Super Grand Sport. Dave Amick and Joe Vardy, the 50 Viper. We've got Devin Powell and Doug Goat in second in the Corvette. Richard Spinard and Jean-Francois Dumoulin in the Porsche third. 3 different makes in the top 3.
Same theme in Grand Sports, Jim, as we have 3 different makes here. Benoit Tige and Sylvain Tremblay win it in an NSX. Thompson DeFontes are second in the Firebird, and a Mustang Cobra comes home third with Rehagen and Dishaw.
As far as sport touring, Fairbanks, Goldsboro, and Bunting in the Lexus. The 9 car was first. Schaefer and Trask in the BMW Z3, and then leaving good in Lully in the BMW 328 third.
And in C2K, it's Pete Halsmer, Brian Johnson, John Schmidt win it with a Honda Civic. Galati, Schmidt, Johnson second in a team car. And Hebert, Craig, and Schranen are third in the Hyundai Tiburon.
Our New Tech Top Gun Award for the fastest race lap, Joe Vardy in the number 50 Viper, lap number 38, a 2:33.628 for an average 100 miles an hour.
And the Derringer Forward Motion winner, the car that picked up the most positions in class, the number 23 BMW M3, driven by Melanie Snow and Steve Pfeffer. Car gained 16 spots.
Our next race is from the Molson Indy in Toronto, Canada. For Terry Airwood, this is Jim Martin saying so long from Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. The Motorola Cup has been brought to you by Motorola, web without wires. By Castrol, track-proven performance. And by New Tech Group International. For more information on Motorola Cup racing, check out MotorolaCup.com.